Here's some quick advice for beginner wrestlers. Number one, focus on positioning, not scoring a lot of points. Not getting scored on is just as important as scoring points. Probably even more so. So rather than winning 14-12, you're better off winning 2-0. It's still a 2-point match, but one wrestler's got a lot of things figured out and one doesn't. So you want to be consistent and solid. There's a saying in wrestling, win big, lose big. Some kids get into this habit. They either pin or tech or get pinned or tech. We like to call it bully-proof your wrestling. And we do this with our elite kids too. Whether they're high school state champs, nationally ranked high school kids, all the way down to beginner youth. We really want to be solid. I want to be able to go a 2-point match with every kid in America. Once I can do that, I'm a takedown away or an escape away or, very close to being at a brand new level. So focus on positioning. And there's video clips on YouTube where we talk about positioning. So be sure to see those. It's very important. Only a few wrestling techniques. 2-leg attacks, 2 ways to score from a front headlock, a couple of turns, 2 stand-ups, maybe 1 way to score from a sit-out. That's basically it. And then focus on the little things of wrestling like keeping your hairline on your opponent's collarbone. That keeps you from getting thrown. Feet wide touch mat. Don't let your opponent read your shirt. That's the wrestling stance. Keep your right pec over your right knee. All of these are things that those of you who have our DVD series or have seen our video clips on YouTube are familiar with. So just the core kind of ingredients that are not really moves or technique, but they're vital. So keep those things in mind. If you can get a partner and drill on your own, that would be great. Especially if your youth wrestling program is kind of swamped with kids and there's 20 dads on the mat all trying to coach their kids, and it gets to be kind of a hectic recreational event. You want to get to practice early and drill 10 of every wrestling technique with your son. So try to get their practice early and maybe take the bull by the horns a little bit. That would be fantastic if you can kind of bypass the team a little bit and just try to get those reps. If you can get a home mat and do some practice on your own at home, that would be way better. I would say protect your athlete a little bit. You don't need to throw them into the national tournaments. Go to a lot of beginners tournaments. You don't want to throw them to the wolves. Number 4, don't keep track of your record. I wouldn't even keep. Now you might personally, but my son didn't even know what a record was as far as a wrestling record when he was a little boy until like his 4th year of wrestling. I never mentioned it. I didn't keep track of wins and losses. You want to keep that out of the picture. And lastly, it looks like number 5, I've already discussed this. Have your wrestler focus on bully-proofing their wrestling, which means don't get turned. Don't give up a bunch of takedowns. Don't dive in and force attacks. Wrestle smart and efficient. As we like to use the analogy of the track runner. If I'm ranked number 1 in the state in track and I sprint the first lap in the mile race, I'm not going to win. It's not because I'm not the best runner. It's because I ran the race the wrong way. So have your wrestler wrestle sort of like a boxer boxes. They don't sprint out and try to get a knockout within the first 30 seconds. They're slow, smart, and efficient. They fight in sprints or combinations. We call it wrestling in sprints. There's videos on YouTube from Purler Wrestling also about wrestling in sprints. So be just sure to follow Nick Purler and Purler Wrestling on YouTube, and you can get access to a lot of these pieces of information. But there's some great advice for you beginners out there and you beginning wrestling parents, and good luck and welcome to the sport.